Are you listening? Damn. Yeah.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Two Guys in a Warehouse. I am your host, Dylan, also known as @TGW Podcast on Instagram, with my co-host,
Alex from Professor Otaku.
And thanks for coming back to the warehouse. If you haven't already, go ahead and make sure you like, subscribe, click in the below, and leave a comment. Give us a rating. We appreciate it, good or bad.
Yeah.
And today we have Mike, the Anime VHS hoarder. He hoards all his anime.
Yeah.
He's gonna die with it.
I do.
Just so you
Yes,
guys know.
I am. Well, thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it. It's always a good time to talk about anime. I can never get enough of it.
That's what we like to do usually on here, is talk about anime and anime-related things.
Mm-hmm. Especially classic anime.
Yeah, classic anime.
That's where I live, is the 80s, 90s, and the early 2000s. So
You basically live in a time vault.
yeah. I mean, I have fan subs and all that stuff, all that goodies from the early 90s. So I got you.
So we have some questions that hopefully you can answer for us and for everyone listening on how to collect VHS anime. Because, I mean, that's pretty interesting as it is anyways. There aren't many people out there that collect retro, like anime, VHS, manga, all that kind of stuff.
It's like a small community on Instagram that I've noticed.
Yeah.
At least there's 3 accounts that I know. One is yours.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's like a pretty
Again, and it's
collection.
mostly people that are 30, 35, 40, 50 that are doing it. And so it's really odd to see someone as young as me I turned 20 in November, being that young and collecting this stuff. I've been collecting since I was like 16 of actual like anime on VHS. So it's always weird because like I'm always talking to these people that are like, yeah, man, I remember when this came out in 89, and I'm like, bro, I was born in 99. What the heck? Bro, been watching. They've been collecting this stuff since before I was even a thought. Like, so it's always interesting when I'm talking with these older people, because they're always willing to, like, a lot of the community, since they know it's dying, they're always really helpful with like trying to pass it on. You know, I talked to plenty of people on Facebook, on Instagram about it. They're just happy that someone appreciates it as much as they do, because there's not many people that do it anymore. So, yeah.
Yeah, and the nice thing to see, especially on your Instagram account, is how nicely you have your photos set up. You always show the spine art on the VHSs, so it's really cool to see the difference, because a lot of people will post their manga or the Blu-ray, but no one sees VHS, so it's really nice to be able to see what kind of art you would get before.
Aesthetic.
That nice aesthetic. One of my favorite is the Spirit Detective Saga, Yu Yu Hakusho box set that you have. That is really nice. Nice spine art there, showing all of Brahma.
That's a really good one. That's a really good one. And again, I eventually want to try and get the full set, because there's actually a lot more artwork that they've done. That, like, if you put it together, there's a whole bunch of like other saga stuff, and I believe the Tournament Saga one is like one of the better ones. It's just those tapes are just so hard to find past that saga, because they only made a box set for that first saga. The rest of them were all individuals, and then they quit production after like episode like 190 or something. I don't know how many episodes are Yu Yu Hakusho's got 4 seasons, but they're like
it's 120, right?
114, I think.
114. Okay, I get my numbers mixed up when I be thinking about all this shit. So, it's probably, again, it was like they were like 30 episodes short when they canceled it. So there's like half of one, and then there's Cartoon Network exclusive ones where they never made the uncut version. So like this whole thing is, again, since I'm dealing with so much of like everything Dragon Ball Z, I get all my numbers mixed up, because everything's got a whole bunch of episodes, especially when each tape comes with 4. So.
Yeah, it's crazy how much of a clusterfuck it was, like, for anime I think, like 2010, because that's when everything kind of had like a really standard release. Before, it was like individual volume sets. Then you'd get like one box set. You pay like, remember, Dylan, when you paid $60 for the Eureka 7 set, that it was only like episodes 36 to 50?
No, not even that. It was 4 episodes on a DVD with a T-shirt and a random volume of the manga, I think. Did I give that to you?
No, but this dude came in the car. Was like, yeah, dude, I'm so fucking excited. Opened it, and he's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yo, it'd be like that.
Yeah.
It really. I did that recently, though. There was a My Hime Otome box set that was on sale on Amazon. Right Stuff was clearing out, and it was $3. And I didn't even care how many episodes came with it. It was $3, and it came with a shirt. And I said I can wear the shirt, so $3. Crap, I'll take it.
I don't even remember. I mean, I guess I got lucky with the size of the shirt that came in the box.
I was your size.
Yeah. I still wear it actually.
Oh.
I think, yeah, I still have it in my closet. I wear it every once in a while for sleeping.
$60 shirt.
Yeah, it's the most expensive shirt I own other than my dress shirts. But I guess before we get too far, you were kind of starting to hit on it a little bit because you started when you were 16 collecting. But what really got you into collecting VHS anime?
So I was always a VHS. I started off with really as a kid. I was always into VHS, but the anime stuff came in later. I started with normal anime, watching it, of course, illegally on the sites everyone knows.
We won't tell.
Yeah, I watched,
we still do it.
We'll bleep that out.
Yeah, but
that's your one bleep.
But I watched it with my friend who was a big Bleach fan back in 2011 and 12 when I first started. But the anime tape stuff came later. There was tapes from the North Star on Instagram. He used to be I don't know. I mean, he already publicly said it, so it's fine. He used to be another Instagram that was pretty large a couple years ago. Had some stuff. He had left for a while, and then he came back. But during that time period when he was starting to collect anime on tape, I had tried to trade him some stuff I got, and he just told me all I had was shit. So he just was like, I don't want none of your common shit. Give me something good. And I'm like, this is all I have. So at that point, he's like, I don't need none of it. So I said, he's right. I have only crap. So I guess I'll start collecting more. And eventually now I think I'm chilling at like, I don't know, 500 or so tapes. Wow. Again, not as big as some other collectors, but again, I have a good amount for what I do.
Yeah. I would say that's a good amount. I don't even think I have that many Blu-rays or DVDs.
Yeah, again, well, because those are much. In the past few years, all of these tapes had gone up in value. I'm talking, I used to get tapes for like next to nothing. These people didn't want to. They didn't like the Japanese cartoons. I used to be able to trade tapes for like one tape for about 5 or 10 of anime tapes because no one wanted them. But then this resurgence of like anime lo-fi hip hop stuff, and then people being like, oh, seeing the Ghibli films when they came back in theaters, basically this whole resurgence of older anime in the public media. Like they had the Cowboy Bebop movie theater release a while back for the. I went and saw that, and all of that. They're just kind of bringing that back, and a lot of people are like, I want to get the original versions. That's like sometimes there's issues with getting certain DVDs. Like I know for a fact on the Ghibli Kiki's Delivery Service, there's actually an audio mixing issue that hasn't been corrected. And the only way to get the correct audio where it's not broken is if you buy the original 2003 DVD or you buy the original VHS. Wow. So like this resurgence of all this has driven the prices up tremendously, which I mean, it's cool for me since I've already had all this stuff since I was like 16. I got a whole bunch of it, but like it's not cool for me trying to find stuff now because I'm like, damn, this hurt my wallet a lot more than it used to. So
yeah, you got in right at the perfect time, right before it all got popular. Yeah, and so you got to start your collection a lot easier than anyone getting into it now would. But is it how much could one person expect to spend when trying to collect a VHS?
Oh Lord, let's see. It's a mixed bag of nuts with this how much you spend, because like I've gotten stuff I've paid $20 for 55 tapes. Okay, and then but nowadays you could be spending idiots. I call them idiots, but I see they don't understand the market or anything, and they just want the stuff now. Impatient people, I guess. They'll go and they'll see a tape that sells regularly $15, $20, right? Well, someone put it up for auction, they'll catch fire, and it'll automatically sell. People will bid it up to $50 because they'll just bid it up to $50. And I'm like, as someone who follows the market, who's been watching it for several years, these people that just go in and they hike it up. And there's also been a lot of fakes accounts as well. So I could say if you were going to buy it and you were conservative, you could probably spend maybe, I'm trying to think, like I've probably spent, when I bought all this, I probably spent $1,000 for all the tapes, because I was adamant about finding the deals. I hunted every day. Every day I'm on eBay looking at Anime VHS, looking every day, and I'll buy them on site and I've only been burned probably about 15 times, but I will buy them, no matter how cheap they are, as long as they're not covered in barf. But I've already gotten to deal with that before, so it's crazy. You'll about $1,000 if you're good at it. If not, probably 3 to 4 if you really just don't care. You can just no hunting for deals, 3 to 4,000 easy.
Yeah. Unless you get into those crazy eBay wars. I remember I got into one a couple years back trying to get Planets, the DVD set.
Oh yeah,
went up to like $300, and I was like, oh, I gotta pull out. I gotta pull out, dude.
Oh, I can't do that.
Yeah, or
that's like the Ava.
Yeah, I got the platinum. What is the platinum edition DVD sets for me and Dylan, and the first time I tried to get it, it went up to 600. Then I got lucky, and I got one for 250, and then I got the other one for 200.
Wow, y'all talking big money. I paid $60 for my platinum set before I sold it for 90. Like
you lost out. You could have sold it for 600.
Yeah,
it was right before Evangelion.
Netflix.
I don't like it. Yeah, it was before Netflix butchered it. It was like right when they announced it, and I was like, I don't even like this show, so I'll just send it. I'll just sell it. I put $90 up on eBay, and some dude bought it from me. And nowadays, I'm like, damn, I should have really kept that.
Yeah.
But again,
it's a love-hate show. It's a love-hate show for sure.
Yeah.
I don't even know how I feel about it, to be honest with you.
Yeah. That's why I'm giving away one on my Instagram right now. Because I found a dude locally. He sold it to me for a good price, and I was just like, I'd rather have other people have it, So I have that giveaway. It's probably gonna, by the time this comes out, it's probably gonna be over. But it's just like, I'd rather give it back to the community. You know what I mean? Instead of the hands of like someone scalping it. Because I paid way below market value for it, and I would just rather someone else just enjoy it, because that's what I see nowadays, is that everyone is out there to make money off of everything, which is fine. It's just when they start like purposely screwing the market up to try and get more money is when it kind of kills me on that,
Yeah.
Well, I think the whole community is kind of getting flooded too, where a couple years ago, anybody who really enjoyed anime anybody who says they're into anime, that's what it was. It just really had this enjoyment for anime. But with all the, like you said, the resurgence of all these classic series and these simul dubs now, I think there's more people coming into the community with not the best of intentions. They're trying to take advantage and exploit it and make it. I mean, obviously it's a business, but
all those shonen junkie accounts on that take like screenshots from Twitter and just post like crappy memes.
Yeah, like there's people like I follow on Twitter that are like genuinely funny, and then I'll be on Twitter that day, and then I'll see a screenshot of it on Instagram later that day, and I'm like, you didn't even. And then it's like I'll give them a little clap. I'm like, congrats, you stole something from someone, and you got more likes on your screenshot than they did on their tweet. Like, it's this. Sometimes I do like being an older one in the community, I guess you could say, focusing mostly on older stuff and talking to people that have been around a lot longer, because I don't have to deal with like My Hero Academia stans that are like, it's the greatest show, and then like Naruto fans that are like, oh, Naruto is the greatest. Like, I have all the Shippuden on DVD. I enjoy it, but like, it's not my favorite show. It's a good show, but I'm not going to fight you over continuity issues. I mean, the show's full of plot holes.
Oh yeah. It's hard to be consistent when it's so long anyway, but
half filler.
It's half filler too. The show, it's trouble. It's just a trouble show, dude.
Yeah, but yeah.
So
my brother would fight you on that, though. He says it's the best show.
But again, that's another
it's
thing
okay.
with collecting tapes, though.
Yeah,
It's so great just because, at least in the small community that we have, they're like willing to help out. Like I'll just send tapes to people, and they'll just help me out if I look out for them. We just like, I know you need this, so I'll just send it to you. At least in the not super expensive stuff, because some stuff are my pride and joy in my collection, and people be like, "Can I get it?" And I'm like, "No."
Like,
can I have it? What was that? Can I have your number?
Can I have it? Yeah. I guess one question would be like, what is a set that you would just never give up? That's just like, it's that set that you will die with it. You will be buried with it.
I'm trying to think, because there's a good few that I have.
You can name like a maximum of 4.
Yeah, and are any of those? Would you consider them to be the rarest set you own?
Yeah. Like, does that go hand in hand with?
Okay, I have almost a whole entire North American release of Uratsuka Doiji which is the first tentacle adult content. And that was actually broadcasted in America that had a movie release in America. All I'm missing is the first movie. I have the TV series box set. I have the second movie. I have the third movie on the way. I bought off of eBay recently. I have the third TV series and the fourth TV series. That has taken me so long to get, and I'm still missing one. That's something I bought when I first started collecting this a couple years back, and when I was 16. Like this was the set. I said I need to get this eventually because I'm a big Toshiya Madea fan. I like his stuff. Pretty good with what he does. And I was like, I want to get at least this full set. Now I'm not paying $250 for the DVDs, but I mean I'll kick up the $30 for the VHS tapes. You know what I mean? And now they're not even. Now they're worth like $100 for the tapes, and I'm just like, this is crazy. I can't pay none of this. So I have to waste this. But that's probably one. Other one that's not really rare or expensive is Video Girl AI. It's about a everyone knows it's about a kid who gets a VCR. He puts a VHS tape in, and I feel like it's a really fitting anime, at least like the basis around tapes and stuff for what I collect. So I keep those tapes, and I think I have one more. Oh, the crappiest anime I own is like a Denki Daisy or whatever. Some dude wants. There's always this guy for the past since I started collecting, or at least a couple years in, like maybe a year or two in. This dude's been asking a ridiculous amount for it every time. And like I paid $10 for the set, and he's asking like $80, $80, and I see it all the time being relisted. And I'm like, bro, you're not gonna get there. But that's probably the one I would probably sell first. But I have so many. Because there's so many like really good series that I have, like AI City that's now on DVD. That was a Right Stuff anime one, and I think that'll
posted that recently on your Instagram, didn't you?
I had posted a while back. I really want to repost it, but I'm thinking about picking up this weird other version of it. But yeah, that's a really good one. Because before Right Stuff was before Right Stuff had Nozomi Entertainment, they had Right Stuff publishing anime. So like Astro Boy, if you go on their website, they got that whole thing. But I don't remember if they mentioned AI City in it, but they did AI City, and they also still had they did a couple other titles that were really popular. I'd say the one that I'll never get rid of will probably be Video Girl AI. It's not rare, it's not expensive. It's just like a show that I really enjoy, that I watch it, and that's for these tapes. But my favorite show still is Golden Boy. I don't have that on VHS, surprisingly.
Yeah.
That would be awesome VHS down.
Yeah, it would.
Yeah, I'd hit you up every day for that.
That's the one. That's the one that's been out. I just haven't been able to get. And I own the manga. I got the manga imported. I own the DVD. I've seen it a bunch of times. I've seen it on Crunchyroll. I've seen it on DVD. I read the manga English translated, and then I'll go through and I'll flip through the pages of the manga that I have that's Japanese, and I'll still know what's going on. But I just can't seem to find a full set of Golden Boy on VHS. So if anyone hears that and you have a full set, English dubbed, hit me up.
Hit Professor Otaku up first, though.
Yeah. What?
And before you do that,
No, I'm seeing the Video Girl Eye set, and it does look really good. I love the spine art and the covers with her on there. Yeah. Oh my god!
And you own the manga for that, Alex, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you own the manga?
He owns the manga as well.
Yeah.
I do as well. Yes, that was another one that was like, I need to finish collecting this, and I stopped everything. I said, let me finish this. And one day at 2:00 in the morning, I just decided to pull the trigger. I'm like, buy all the rest of the volumes I need. It's usually how it goes.
That series, I haven't read it yet. I haven't watched it either. But you said it's pretty good, Alex, correct?
It is good.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's weird. The anime only adapts like the first 3 volumes, I think. First 3, maybe a little bit of the 4th, and it kind of ends there. If I recall, it ends kind of not sad, but like morbid in a way, as opposed to the manga where it's a little more. I mean, obviously it's gonna have more conclusive, but I do like the ending of the anime actually. Like it just, I don't know, it feels really nice in a fucked up way.
Yeah. Yes. That was a pretty good anime in general. So
yeah. I was gonna say, did you ever manage to find like any of his other works? Like, because I know he has what's the other one that came out in like the mid 90s?
DNA Squared.
DNA Squared. Yes. Did they have like a VHS release of that somewhere? Or
unfortunately, that one never came out until I believe Discotech released the DVD of it. I'm not sure. I do know. I can tell you for a fact that the manga never came out in America in English.
Yeah.
There's a really crappy English translation, fan translation online where they scanned it really badly. But if you're looking to read it, that's the only way to read it. But the anime for that was actually really good. And if there was a VHS tape set for it, I would definitely be 100% on that. Even if it was like the Japanese ones, I just can't find them. I can't. It's hard for me to import stuff because that's expensive.
Yeah, it is. I imported like 4 volumes of Chainsaw Man, and it was like $50. And those Japanese volumes are like 480 yen, which is like $3.
Yeah. Oh Lord. Yeah. I mean, I've seen some. I've debated on pulling the trigger on there's a Gantz VHS set. If you follow Retro Pickle on Instagram, do you remember seeing that? Where they sit up sideways and it forms like the whole picture with the girl on it. I can't remember her name.
Probably not. The Instagram algorithm is so messed up now, and just everything just shows up randomly now.
Yeah, I know it's bad, but that Gantz set, if you ever do go on her account, you can check it out. That's probably one of the few sets that I would really want to import, but like right now, I just can't afford it. You know what I mean? Because it's like that's the set's like I believe goes for around $50 USD in Japan, and that's before getting it imported. And that's probably going to be at least another, I don't know, $60. It depends. It's just crazy to import how much it is, and especially during the time we're in right now. Trying to import anything is a pain, and I just don't. I'm just like, I'm taking a break. I'm not dealing with any of that.
Yeah, like, I'll check Amazon Japan, and they'll say like it's not shipping to the states right now. Like I can get like one thing, but I can't get like the other 6 things that I want. So I'm like, it's not really worth it. At the moment, just not worth it.
Yeah, as of recording this, it's not worth it.
Because I'm so upset. But I guess another question to bring up, because you have like all these VHS sets, and those are obviously going to be older shows. Do you have like a preference? Is there a specific era you like? Are you more like into 80s, 90s, or do you not care? You just like anime in general?
I don't really have a set preference, but again, I'm a big fan of older shonen. 80s shonen I really enjoyed. Again, City Hunter is probably one of my top favorite anime so far that I've really
Best
like.
Second opening ever.
Yes. I mean, I like the first one too. Like, I like all of it, but it's one of those. That's one of those shows that I really enjoy. Just those 80s shonen. Again, I have recently acquired those magazines, which had what's left of the 80s shonen, but they were in '94, so it was Dragon Ball Z and all that goodies. But funny thing about that, some guy reached out to me. I don't know if he still does clothes or not. But this guy reached out to me. It's not a big deal or anything, but he made clothes for some rappers, and he was trying to ask me to get that Shonen Jump I had, where it had Goku, Goten, and Gohan on it. He was asking if I could sell those, and I was like, "No, man, I just got these." And then he had made some and then I saw his account, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, he made these shirts I tried to buy for $415 back in the day." I'm like, "Oh, maybe I should just be like, I'll let you have it if you let me get a shirt." Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, for
so
me,
you're saying you won't sell that?
Yeah.
No, that's gonna go in the collection for a long time as well. Having original 1994 Weekly Shonen Jump, and then having some Weekly Shonen Magazine and a copy of Weekly Young Jump, all from the 90s. So it has like DNA squared in one of them. Then the other one, the Shonen Jump has like JoJo Part 4 or
probably
JoJo
Slam Dunk.
It has a Slam Dunk fold out. It has a Slam Dunk poster. And then
you
on
gotta
the
send
back
that,
end,
dude. I'll send it back. I swear.
Yeah.
On the back end of it, it has all these NBA players that in Japanese talking about them, like Karl Malone and a couple others, and it's talking about them in Japanese because I think it was something was going on. But I think it's funny because there's a McDonald's ad in there too for like the 1994 Olympics, and it was like, okay, McDonald's is still promoting. Man, McDonald's been around for a long time, and they promote everywhere too, so that's why it's number one.
Yeah, that's cool. It's essentially a time capsule. Just like, I mean, even if it is just one issue, just with one chapter from like all these other long running shows or shonen, it's definitely something really cool to have. Especially Dragon Ball Z, like just a year before it's supposed to end. Slam Dunk coming to an end. Is Yu Yu Hakusho still in there?
Yu Yu Hakusho is the one that I have. It is not, because mine's mine's closer to the end of the year, and I believe Yu Yu Hakusho was probably week 10 of that year. I looked it up. Because I was like, I think Yu Yu ended this year, and it ended like week 10 or 11 or something like that, and mine's like week 34. So,
damn.
I know. Well, I wish I had that one. That one's expensive. They're asking like $100 for just that one volume.
Wow.
Might have to do that.
Yeah.
I mean,
Might be
maybe.
worth
I don't know. The prices fluctuate. I looked up trying to get some more weekly Young Jumps, and there's this guy that's on eBay right now. You can go look at it. He's asking like $200 a piece, and I'm like, bro, these are magazines from like the 80s and the 90s, bro. They're not worth. You threw them out after you were done. They're not worth $200 a pop, but it's whatever. I mean, I'm happy with what I have because I got those for so cheap. I think I paid less than $20 for all of them. So, again. The deals is what you gotta shoot for with this collecting all this.
Deals are key for sure.
Yeah. I learned that the hard way until recently. Actually, I was like, you know what? I need to only buy when the iron's hot.
Yeah,
and the deal is good.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, for sure. Especially with the nowadays. But nowadays it's not even as bad. Sentai has sales. Bright Stuff has sales. Funimation has sales. But
Sentai has sales all the time.
Their sales are ridiculous.
Yeah. Normally they're 90% off.
Yeah, like I bought Shogeki no Soma or Food Wars.
Mm-hmm.
The first 2 seasons, I think I paid like $20. I think somewhere around there because that was like one of the lowest prices I've ever seen. The Blu-rays, even now after last year, they were still more expensive, but they were dirt cheap.
Yeah, Sentai. That's the nice thing too. Until you end up buying all their stuff because everything's so cheap.
Yeah.
But I bought their limited editions. I bought Parasite for $45
for both
parts.
Sets, yeah.
I bought Food Wars limited edition boxes for $90. So I mean, you sometimes if you see that deal
when it's a 90% off, it's a real 90% off.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like some other places where they're like up to 75% off, and the only things that are 75% off are
a wristband.
Yeah,
clearance
stuff
items.
That
we got to get rid of this one.
Yeah,
let's throw that in there.
Gunbusters DVD 1 for $2.
Yeah.
Man, last time I ordered from the company, for shits and gigs, I threw those on there. They were. I bought all of them. I was just like, whatever.
For that cheap, you might as well.
Yeah, I bought some random volumes of it was like Goth Soccer or some shit like that.
Yeah, or you're trying to get to the free shipping, so you just add. I only need $3. All right, I'll just throw this in there.
Yeah,
we'll see what happens. So, is there a reason that you prefer VHS over DVD and Blu-ray, or is it?
Well, I actually, as you would say, I really don't have a preference because I have a very large collection of DVD and Blu-ray as well. It's just I started off with tapes. I used to be a CRT collector as well. Up until recently, I was CRT mainly. I had a 16:9 HD CRT and a lot of 4:3 CRTs. So watching anime that's meant for 16:9 and trying to watch it on a 4:3 screen, which I've done before, it's not enjoyable. So getting this older anime that's made in 4:3, it just felt right. Watching the original Bleach, like first couple seasons before they changed it to 16:9, watching that in 4:3, I really enjoyed because I have the DVDs. And then just when it feels right, like time period right, I'm watching this on a 25-year-old, 30-year-old TV. That's a CRT. Pop in my VHS tape, and like it fits the edge of the screen all the way around. Just like that, I always enjoyed. But again, nowadays, like I also enjoy having I watched Kaguya-sama. I've been keeping up with that, or at least I've been trying, like halfway through episode 6. So like I like watching that on like my normal TV, like my normal monitor that I watch stuff on. Because I play on Xbox and all that, so I have it hooked up to a high refresh rate monitor. So I watch new stuff on new hardware, but I also watch old stuff on old hardware. If you get what I'm saying?
Yeah. Keep it with the time period.
Yeah. And then up until recently, before my current VCR croaked, I was going through a whole bunch of series. I was just trying to get as much backlog as I could. I had like watched all of Bastard in one sitting, and then I went and watched Video Girly Eye again because I was like, I need a refresher to feel bad about myself for a little bit.
Yeah.
But and then I was just like on a roll, and then my VCR decided just to crap out on me, and I was just like, yay! I can't watch any tapes, so I'm on a DVD binge and Blu-ray binge of watching. Like I watch all City Hunter, I watch all of the first Blu-ray set. I watched the movie. I watched Video Girl AI again because I have it on DVD just to feel bad about myself. But yeah, I've just been on that binge. It's just having the time period correct stuff, or as pretty close as I can. I really enjoy that because I still have like CRT. I still have CRTs even though I got rid of 90% of them. I still have a few, and they're just small now. So like on my desk, I have a 10-inch CRT with the VCR in it that I'll watch something that I've already seen before on VHS, and then it feels like I'm still working, but it feels nice having like time period correct stuff. It's just that's the main thing.
Well,
yeah, it's like
sorry, not to cut you off, but I'm going to cut you off.
Yeah, it's like go ahead.
You like to use the hardware from that time period of whatever you're watching, but would you say are there any good streaming sites for people to watch classic anime?
Oh yeah,
even if they don't have like
sure.
VHS or DVDs of it.
For sure. Right now, the big one for me would be Retro Crush and Crunchyroll. Now, Crunchyroll recently, since they've partnered with Discotech on a lot of stuff, you're getting a lot of classic titles from Discotech on Crunchyroll. At least of their higher profile stuff, like City Hunter and Konosuba was the thing they did together, but Konosuba was originally on there. But like other classic series are on there. But Retro Crush is getting a lot of the back end of that catalog that is like really good, but too not relevant enough for the Crunchyroll people. For people like that watch Crunchyroll, it's not new. Yeah, it's more obscure titles like Violence Jack, Go Nagi's most absurd. I have the uncut VHS tapes of it, and it's worse than that. Like the uncut, the DVD version, as close as you can to getting it uncut without crossing the line. But when they originally released it uncut, they didn't do any blurring or pixelating or anything. It's full on just so that one, even though it's so bad, it's a really interesting to watch, but it's really like raunchy with a lot of adult themes, and you can never put that on Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll would be lit. Like they would be like lit up with everything. They'd be on fire. The worst anime, the most gory, gruesome anime ever made, put on Crunchyroll. You'd see the highlights and the titles and everything. Clickbait everywhere for it. But Retro Crush rolled it out. They rolled it out, and no one said anything. Like it's just another thing added to the catalog. Which I wish it got a little more traction because that's a really difficult show to put out on streaming, especially sub and dub. But I feel like I'm happy that it didn't get a lot of flack because it's really, really gruesome, but it's a very important thing. It's very important to remember that that's what Go Nagi did besides Devilman, because everyone's like Go Nagi, Devilman, that's all he did. But like he did plenty of other long running manga because that's based off of manga. So I feel like it's important to have some more of sustenance to the catalog. Because you don't want to. I don't like when. That's another thing with the American market is that we'll have like someone known for one thing, and that's it. And they've worked. And you go to Japan, they have many other series that they've worked on that they're famous for. But in America, it's you're this guy,
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that kind of bothers me. Again, I just like there's plenty of great stuff out there. It's just the limitations of what is able to be sold in the American market really sucks. Because there's so many good series, especially like in Shonen Jump. There's a whole bunch of Shonen Jump stuff we've never had over here. Like, was it Ampa Man or whatever? And then there's like a little heart guy. I can't remember. There's so many because I played there's like a little bubble popping game on my phone. And it's like a collection of all of these Shonen from like the 60s all the way up to now. And it has all these characters. And I'm like, I don't understand. I don't even know who half these characters are, even though Shonen Jump is super important in like everything. So.
I always email Viz Media. I tell Dylan about this.
Him.
Yeah, they hate me. They just stop replying. I'm like, hey, City Hunter. Is there ever going to be a possibility you're going to release that here, or if you're going to reprint Saint Seiya, or all these other are you going to bring Fist of the North Star back anytime soon? Because I see like those like big ultra like textbook style releases that came out like a few years back that look pretty awesome. Yeah. I'm like, dang, I want that. I want that shit, dude. Send me that. But no, they're like, no, we're not doing that.
You're not getting it.
Yeah, we have My Hero coming out, Demon Slayer, sticking to the relevant stuff. I'm like, all right, well, fuck
Demon
me, right?
Demon Slayer's over now, so
right.
No. But again, I feel like right now it's so hard. You can't if it's not already out or if it's not already out, you're not gonna get it nowadays. I feel like if it's not new, hot, it's just the anime fan that we remember. Again, I was on the tail end, but you guys were probably. I mean, Professor Otaku, you've been around a while.
Yeah.
So there's a difference. I'm like, Dylan's been here for like 2 minutes compared to all of us, Like
Yeah.
I started way back when I used to buy Shonen Jumps at the supermarket with my mom when they were coming out.
Mm.
So like that anime fan, I think is pretty much gone now. It's
Yeah.
what's left of us. Now there's this new generation that likes like the artsy, the more colorful stuff,
Yeah.
Like Shonen Jump used to be darker, and that's another thing I like about the older stuff. It used to be darker, grittier, more like action, but like there was like consequences to stuff, you know what I mean?
Mhm.
And then we had like the big three that came through, which I mean I'm not saying they're bad, but again I watched Bleach. I'm on the fence. I have to read some more One Piece, but I like Naruto a lot. I play all the video games. I have all the Shippuden on DVD. But like they set a standard for a lot of characters that I felt like I've gotten soft, I guess.
Yeah.
Because like I mean, there's always been what's that? What do you call it? Where the MC never dies. God.
Oh, plot armor.
Yeah, plot armor. There's always been plot armor, but like there's always been characters that have actually died, and like My Hero Academia took them like I don't know how many years for like a character to actually die in a Shonen Jump. Meanwhile, in City Hunter, in like the first volume,
Yeah.
his partner dies, like 4 or 5 chapters in, and like the partner that he works with dies, and now he has to take care of the daughter and all that, and it's like. We don't get those moving plot points like we did. It's just like nowadays, it's just like, yay, go hero, yay,
Yeah.
Well, I think that's the stuff that ends up getting pushed to the front, is more popular. You see the series coming out for it. Because I would say that there's still series that have a little bit more edginess to them, and they're a little bit darker that are out there. They're just harder to come by, or they don't get the same kind of promotion that like My Hero would get.
Basically, it's Dragon Ball's fault.
Yes. That's it. Dragon Ball Z is the reason for plot armor. Okay, change my mind.
I mean, because like you said, I mean, City Hunter. I mean, that was '80s. I mean, you had Fist of the North Star. What else? Saint Seiya was pretty violent as well.
Yep.
JoJo. The '80s. JoJo's. Mm-hmm. Yeah, JoJo. Yeah, it is crazy like how Shonen Jump's transitioned so much. It really is kind of Dragon Ball's fault. I mean, not in a bad way, but like it did change the way Shonen went.
Yeah.
Because then, Dragon Ball, Yu Hakusho came, which kind of violent, but it's still pretty mild compared to what the 80s had.
Yeah.
And then, you had the big three, and now I would say kind of to an extent we're sort of getting more interesting, somewhat violent series, but like Chainsaw Man's coming out, Jujutsu Kaisen to an extent. But I definitely know. I understand the frustration of like those kind of visceral, not kind of unforgiving series just don't really exist in the same way unless you're reading like Berserk or like more sane and mature stuff. Yeah,
and that's. I mean, I just with this whole popularity thing, it's always great to have popular shows that are easy to watch and they're fun to watch. I have I have the first 3 seasons of My Hero on Blu-ray. I've watched all of it. I'm currently up to date, and I enjoy it. But like, there's certain type character tropes of MCs that, man, they just bother me. Just like the Shinji Neon Genesis Evangelion
crybaby little bitch,
crybaby all the time. I got halfway through that, sold my platinum set because I just didn't like it. Nowadays, I wish I had that back. But yeah, again, and then like I do get tired sometimes of Deku. I'm not saying Deku's a bad character, but he has some good points. But like, there's sometimes just like some parts, like in the first season of him always crying every time, and I'm like, man, am I really gonna watch this show? He's crying every like 5 minutes. Thank you, All Might. I'm so free. I'm just like,
he cries for the good. He cries for the bad.
Yeah. He cries because I hurt my foot because boom. I'm like, I don't know. It's just nowadays it's a lot softer, and at least on MC wise, I feel like. So again, there's always gonna be there's more dark gritty stuff, but just it's not in the public eye anymore. No one. Yeah. That's not what sells. No one cares about the dark gritty pasts of people. Like Chainsaw Man came out digitally for a while at first, right? And it was a digital exclusive. And then Shonen or Viz Media saw that there was actually demand, and how long did it take them? Like 6 months or a year? I don't know. Did it take them a year for it to get in print?
No, it's coming out like October, so it's going to be like 2 years pretty much.
Yeah, and it hasn't been in. It's been 2 years and it hasn't been in print yet, even though it's like a really popular show on the digital end. But Spy X Family was 6 months.
Oh, instantly.
Yeah.
And it was just because Dark and Gritty doesn't sell right now. Even though that's my main thing is that, I have Fist of the North Star on Blu-ray. I have the movie on Blu-ray. I got City Hunter on Blu-ray. I've read a bunch of it. I read all of this. And that's just like what I found interesting. And just that Dark Gritty fan is now old. They're in the same.
Yeah.
The younger generation is like, yay, power. They're the generation that was on Power Rangers and in Japan, Super Sentai. They watched Doraemon all the time, which, I mean, Doraemon's good. I have a Doraemon shirt, but everything's soft now, in my opinion. Like, not everything, but the main
It's harder to find.
Yeah.
The main market nowadays is just like softer anime. And I like sometimes that stuff that has you on the edge of your seat, like, what's going to happen next time? Do I have to really worry about this character and not like, oh, great, Deku's going to survive again. Yay. I mean, the first death of the series came in season 4. Like Naruto Shippuden, what was it? Naruto, the first one. It was like episode 30 or something. And like Sasuke's out here breaking arms. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, even that was a little more entertaining than like episode 30 of My Hero. What was that at?
I think they were having a school festival and eating churros or some shit.
Yeah. Was that the school festival or was that the license test?
License, something like that. Like, actually, I agree completely because I feel like I've always felt like My Hero had potential, but I feel like it's almost limiting its potential by sticking to the school setting. Mm-hmm. I'm like, man, just destroy the school already and get on with it. Like, let's have like some dystopian world already. Yeah. Dude. Like, that. I mean, I would say Black Clover. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, no, you're good. I was just going to say, like, Ruby had that breaking, even though it's not really an anime, but it's super popular in Japan anyway. Mm-hmm. Had that breaking of that school society, like that school, like after season 3, it broke off. But yeah, Black Clover, I agree as well. I actually need to get back on that. I only read a little bit in the beginning, but I know what you mean with it because I've been watching clips here and there. So, like, it's got a little more potential because it doesn't stick to like that setting of being trapped in a school, or it can take more risks. It's willing to take more risks. You guys remember when Black Clover first came out and everyone shit on it?
Yeah, like, that was me.
I didn't. I was like, this is pretty good. And Alex was like, no, this is ass.
Everyone, they're like, off the dome. They're like, this is crap. It's not going to be the next Naruto. And then after they stopped comparing it, they're like, this isn't half bad. I mean, it's not perfect, but I can read it. And I was like, I still don't have a final opinion on it. That's on my to-do list. But again, my watch list is just as long as my
reading list.
Just as long as my reading list, my watch list is about the same size, and then it goes with the stack of paperwork I got to do for homework and my job, and so. It's just,
man. It's just there's not enough time in the day.
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I got to grind that Overwatch event too. The anniversary started.
Oh shit.
Yeah, because that's what I also play as well. I play a lot of video games as well. I'm just a big nerd all around. You know what I mean?
It's okay, man. We're all nerds too. Yeah. Dylan owns hentai.
Hey, welcome to the club, man.
Oh man.
Hey, I mean, if it's anime, it's anime.
True. Yeah. Yeah, we were having
Oh, you're good.
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was thinking about just like the horror stories about anime tape collecting because no one ever tells you these. I have like some thoughts about like no one tells you anything when you start getting into collecting like this, and I was just thinking about like some stuff that I've seen. And about my worst one about me cleaning off, like, vomit off of tapes and stuff. Ugh. So, I don't know. This is just what popped into my mind was that when you tape collect, a lot of them are going to be dirty compared to, like, when you buy normal stuff. You'll buy something, and you expect it to be in pretty good shape when you buy it, at least if you buy it from a company brand new, right? But these tapes have been sitting in someone's attic for probably 20 years, 30 years. And, like, you don't know what's happened to them. They could be filled with mold. Like, you can't watch half these tapes. I've gotten tapes that, like, where, like, the reel is, right? And it's supposed to be black in there. The reel is black. I've had it look like just a white piece of paper was, like, over the reel because it was just filled to the brim with mold. And then I've had, like, to clean off the Dragon Ball Z tapes. I've had to clean vomit off of that. It looks like someone's cat puked on them and then sold them to me. And I was like...
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, I know. And I'm literally sitting there like scrubbing off this dry ass vomit on these freaking tapes, and it smells horrible. But I'm like, I need to get these tapes because I have this will make the full set. So I'm like, stop going through. And yeah, it's again the difference for collecting is just it's so different now. I mean, I'm happy to be in the generation I am of collecting for tapes or for anime in general, because man, I don't think I'd ever survive if I was in the late 80s, early 90s, and up until like the early 2000s. Even collecting early 2000s with all those DVD sets. Couldn't do it.
Well, I think the internet has made a huge difference on that because of eBay and things like that. It's a lot easier a lot of the time to get a hold of things, whereas back in the day, unless you bought it the time it came out, well, you had to buy it then, otherwise you probably weren't going to get it.
Well, in a way, it is kind of like trouble though now, just because like at least with Mike, with like the way you're buying, essentially everything is used. Yeah. It's been in somebody else's possession. You never really know how it's gonna, come. I suppose. Yeah, like I only buy Blu-rays and like new manga, some old stuff, but usually I buy new. So there's never like the worst thing that's gonna happen is a volume's gonna be bent because of shipping. But obviously I won't get like cat pee or poop or whatever on my stuff.
They got to charge extra for that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that on that thing, when I bought those, the dude charged me full price too. Like I didn't get no discount. I just wanted the set. I paid a good amount, and then I'm sitting there cleaning them when I get them, and I'm literally sitting outside with like alcohol and like wipes and just trying to figure out what's the best way to get this off without ruining the slipcover.
Yeah, because that's the key part. That's like that.
Exactly.
Like, nobody cares about what's inside. They only care about what's outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's crazy, especially nowadays. I do enjoy though having the ease of access of being able to just click on Funimation and just go, oh, I guess there's a new episode out. I might as well watch it, instead of waiting 2 years, like back in the day. Wait 2 years and I'll make a VHS tape you can spend $40 on to get 4 episodes.
Yeah.
So
it is crazy how far everything has come, because
I think within just the past probably 5 years.
After, I mean, there was like never really a guarantee that there's going to be a dub. Bless Space Andy, because Space Andy started the simuldub stuff.
Well, I don't know about the simuldub.
The simuldub?
I feel like the quality's
definitely
gone down, yeah.
But at least it's expanded the anime community, I guess.
Yeah, that's true.
And it's made it easier for people to get into, which is cool. It's nice to see people kind of like at least giving more respect to anime in a way. It just sucks that it isn't really like kind of the anime you want them to be talking about. Like I know, like I'm not saying
all shonen.
Yeah, I'm not trying to be like a dick or a gatekeeper about it, but it is like it's like dang, like okay, like My Hero's fine, but like, what about this show? And they're like, oh, that's too old.
To Love Ru.
Yeah,
To Love Ru, right?
Yeah, like good show. It was a good show. Sold on they sold out of subtitle versions, and then now everyone who bought the subtitle versions is stuck because they're like, I guess after all these years we're gonna make a dub, and because nowadays everything needs a dub.
Yeah. And it's crazy too, because at least for me, like I'll buy the shows, but I don't even really watch dubs anymore unless it's like an older show that I grew up watching the dub and I like it. But I don't hate dubs, but something about it now I just can't really get into it anymore.
I'm very picky with mine. It's
like what is a show, I guess, that like you would say is like dub only, and then a show that is just sub only for you?
Well, I said Golden Boy before. That's probably the best dub I've ever seen. I love the dub, and it really sucks because the dude only did like 2 shows. He did like those. He was an extra character in Those Hunt Elves, and I remember watching Those Hunt Elves. And I was like, is that him in there? And I'm like looking it up on my phone as I'm watching the episode. And I'm like, he did play this one character this one time. But
God.
Yeah, so Those Hunt Elves was pretty good. And then what's it came out a couple years ago, Scum's Wish. I can't watch it. I can't watch that English dub, man. Can't. I watched Scum's Wish when it was coming out, subtitled, and after watching the sub for a while, I own the Blu-ray now. I can't watch it English dub. It makes me cringe. I just am like, shut up. You sound so weird. So I have to. But again, when it comes to tapes, I'll watch whatever I can get my hands on. Because like so many sets were like released all subtitled and released all dubbed. But then it's sometimes impossible to find a dub of a version. So you just get a sub tape and sit it in there. So I'm kind of numb to the sub and dub. But there's a few shows that have me like, it has to be this one. I've never watched Golden Boy all the way through subtitled. and I've been watching it for the past since like I started watching anime actually. You know what I mean? Not like Bleach and One Piece and Naruto and all that.
Yeah.
So I still haven't seen that fully subtitled. I watched one episode.
It's probably tough to watch fully subtitled as well.
Yeah, it's weird. It's just because I've seen it so many times, and I just love the voice acting because it's just actually funny the way they portrayed it. And then trying to switch to the subtitled version, just I just feel like it loses its charm as much as because I think that's what I think the English dub is what carries the charm more than the English sub.
Just the wackiness.
Well, it's like kind of like Ghost Stories. You know, it was like a mediocre show. But then they dubbed it, and they're like, you know, do whatever you want with the dub. You can change the script, and they did, and it ended up being really, really, really funny.
Yeah, exactly. A good quality. That's a good fun dub because I feel like sometimes with certain dubs they get too serious and too focused. And I mean, there's always. It's just like some shows don't have that break anymore, or you know what I mean. Like in the manga, you'll read, it'll have like a little joke here or there in the middle of it. Like One Piece isn't too bad about that, but like because I watched a little bit of that, my coworker adores it, but. He's caught up on both sub and dub. I'm like, okay, I don't know how you do it, but whatever.
Jesus.
Again, he's crazy. He loves One Piece. Can't get him to watch anything else. But like the dub, like having those intermittent breaks, I feel like sometimes can be difficult to portray in a dub, and that's why when a dub gets it right for me, I'll probably stick with that. And Golden Boy got it right the whole way through, just the way that. Even though there's like a whole bunch of overexpression of just like him doing stuff, it fit the mood of the story and how the character was portrayed. So that's like the dub I find to be the funniest. And most anime doesn't really make me laugh, you know, a lot. Just like how you say, I think you said previously, horror anime doesn't scare you.
Yeah.
Horror anime doesn't scare me either. But like, there's a lot of shows I can't find genuinely funny, but like. City Hunter is a good one that I find genuinely funny. Golden Boy, The Disastrous Life of Psyche K. I sometimes find funny.
Oh, that is one of my favorites.
Because like sometimes the joke won't hit for me, but there's sometimes the joke will just hit right, and I'm just like, that's a good one. It's a mixed bag for me on that, but I can watch that show sub or dub. That's one of those ones, either or for me. But I do think I prefer the sub.
Jerry Jewell on the dub. He does a great job.
Yeah, he's a big Jerry Jewell
fan. I haven't watched it subbed yet. I'll have to try it subbed because I was curious. I was like, I wonder how this hits subbed. But sometimes those jokes, they just come in and it's just perfect.
Yeah, it's good. I like a lot of shows and I can watch them either way. That's the thing. That's also where we get the sub versus dub debate. You know that, right? You guys know about because it's anime tape wise. That's why we have the whole sub versus dub, at least in the beginning, was because when you bought an anime, it didn't come with both tracks. You bought it 4 episodes. You either bought it dubbed in English or subtitled. So people would be able to watch the same thing, and you could watch the same series as your friend, but they could be watching it English dubbed, and they'll say something that this character said something, and you'll be like, I don't know what that is. I bought the subtitled. And then the market basically had you choose. What are you going to support? And usually, most of the time, subtitle was more expensive because it was more work. You got to lay over the stuff and all that. So a lot of people were dub fans. That's why Yu Yu Hakusho's dub was really famous. DBZ dub was really famous. They didn't even release subtitle version of Dragon Ball Z on VHS.
Yeah, the history of like DBZ's release here is pretty crazy. How like I think they tried to release Dragon Ball first, but then they canceled it, and then they went with Dragon Ball Z, and that's what caught fire. And then that has like 3 or 4 different dubs. There's like Ocean, Funimation.
Oh, yeah, they had the Canadian, which was Ocean.
Yeah, then there's another one.
Actually, real quick, there was supposed to be, I don't know, I can't remember if it was before Corona or after Corona, but the Ocean dub voice actor was going to be at a convention at the community college in my hometown, and he was the Ocean dub voice of Goku.
Oh, nice.
Man,
but they promoted him as the voice of Goku.
You're just like, is that Sean Schemmel? Oh shit!
Yeah, that's what I was like. I was like, wait, what?
I would have loved to meet him because I actually have all of the Ocean dub on VHS. That's what the first VHS sets were. So I would have loved to meet him. I would have had him sign the box set for me because Goku on the first one is literally the main guy on the box set. He's the one in the middle with the thumbs up and all that. Like, yay! So I would have had him sign that. That'd been fire.
That would have been cool. Pretty sick.
Yeah, Ocean dubs. Yeah. Shout out to them.
Yeah. ruining Dragon Ball Z for many people. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I don't know. I actually found it funny comparing both of them. Just like I watching it Ocean and then watching it regular Funimation. I think it's funny how regular Funimation is regular, but yeah. After watching both of them, I find them both enjoyable in a way. It's just you can't be like really serious about it,
Right.
you know.
Well, the Ocean dubs only did what two seasons of it?
2 seasons, yep.
Yeah, 2 seasons. It's crazy.
And then they did that DVD. Didn't Funimation do a DVD where they released the Ocean dub on it a while back, a couple years ago? Oh, it's probably been a while actually. It was called like. Oh, let me look it up. I have my computer. I swear it was an Funimation DVD set that was the first 54 episodes. It came out in 2013. I think it's called Rock the Dragon. It's the Dragon Ball Z Collector's Edition called DBZ Rock the Dragon Collector's Edition, where I believe they put the it says the original broadcast version of DBZ with the Canadian voice actors. So yeah, it was the first 2 seasons, and it's like super duper expensive because if you look right now on Amazon, it's $460 for that DVD set, which is outrageous. But yeah, that Ocean dub, even though it's kind of crap, it's still kind of fun. So I don't mind it.
As long as it's fun, that's all.
Yeah,
all
so,
that matters.
yeah, just enjoy it for what it is. Oh man.
So I guess we'll just fast forward a little bit. Do you want to talk about some of the shows that you're watching currently that are currently airing that you really think are good shows?
Yeah, I can talk about that. I got mostly right now it's Kaguya-sama Love is War. I watched the second season because I originally read the manga for a little while and then I took a break. And then when the anime came out with that opening, the opening for it, I was like, this is it. This is for me. And then I found the story interesting. Because it's a show. I'm pretty sure it's in Shonen Jump, but it's like in their like Sunday one or I can't remember where it's at. But I felt it like it was a nice break from my normal stuff because I do have to take breaks because when I'm always in the gritty stuff, that's still my favorite.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just gotta breathe from that because I know like Wicked City. God, that one with the spider lady. You know what I'm talking about. If you've seen it, but all that like darker stuff, Vampire Hunter D, the original series, and Bloodlust, and like constantly watching all this stuff. That's sometimes a nice lighthearted series I don't have to get too serious about. Yeah, is always a nice break. And then Beastars was pretty good. I had watched that, even though again I don't like CGI at all. I'm a whole. If an anime is made hand painted cells and all that. That's for me. I love cells. I love when it's hand painted, but like I'm used to the digital stuff by now. But Beastars, even though the CGI wasn't my favorite, the way that the opening was really kept me going because seeing that like really drew me in initially because I was having issues getting into it. But just every time getting a nice refresh with the opening, and I really like that style. I was able to be like, okay. Remember, it's just CGI. The story's pretty good. They did a good job on the opening. I can push through. And again, I watched all that. That was great. There's even though I'm a VHS, DVD, Blu-ray physical guy, I still have my streaming services I pay for. I pay for all of them pretty much. I think right now I'm taking a break from VRV because I'd rather watch stuff on Funimation just for what I'm watching right now. But I still pay for Crunchyroll, which is kind of weird. I should have just paid for my VRV, but it's whatever. It's whatever. They can take my money. I'm already a bitch to the market of just like, here's my money. just take all of it. I just love anime so much. But so again, I'm watching. I'm waiting for Beastars season 2. I'm not really watching any other current shows besides that, but like. I've tried to get into one. There was this one that came out last season about that boy that looks like a girl that moved into like the caretaker house one. You know what I'm talking about?
Caretaker house? Yeah. Oh, what show was that? I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I tried to watch that and I said, I can't watch this out on the big TV. I gotta go. Oh wait, because that one, oh man. That one's like, and they can do that, but they can't do interspecies reviewers.
Right. My God.
I'm like, again, as soon as the manga came back in print, I bought the first 3 volumes. I said, I need it all. Just give me it. Give me the interspecies reviewer stuff. But Yeah, I'm mostly a manga guy nowadays because like I can read a few chapters and then go on about my day. I don't feel like I'm stuck with that half an hour where I have to watch it because if I don't watch the episode, I'll probably forget about it.
Yeah.
Like I'll forget to continue it. So like I really do enjoy that. I was an avid reader as a kid. I mean, the librarian knew me by name. She just say hi every time I'd show up because I'd be getting a new book like twice a week. I'd get in some big book that I'd just sit down and I'd do my homework and I'd read for like 6-7 hours, and then I would go to bed, wake up in the morning, read for an hour, and then go to school. So
Yeah.
transitioning from normal stuff to like your Harry Potters, your Rick Riordan books, and all that, to going into anime and manga, I felt like manga was a much more of a easy, happy read. I mean, definitely
Yeah.
there's like a lot of series that have like a lot of text on page. That one volume of Hunter x Hunter where it's like straight down the side, it's like both sides are completely covered with text, and then like halfway through the middle there's text because it's literally just plot. You're just filling in plot holes and stuff like that. But like I find it more enjoyable because like reading and at least seeing, because I also read comics, so seeing all of that, and I felt like I like the stories more because they're not afraid to get dirty, not in a sexual manner, but in the I mean, also in a sexual manner, but I mean that's late night stuff. But yeah, just and I feel like sometimes in American comics I have issues with what happens to characters and how they're portrayed, and there's not enough darkness. It's always the hero wins, yay, And like Overlord was a pretty good example of like focusing on like not like the good guy, but I think that was I can't remember. I read that and watched a little bit of it so long ago. But yeah, Overlord was a good example of that. And then like The Devil's a Part-Timer, the first isekai in my opinion, that was a really good one because I don't like isekai in general, but I felt that really funny because it was like a break from the norm at the time too. It's
Or
just
reverse isekai.
Yeah, reverse isekai. Yeah, like these shows that like break the norm are usually what get me interested because I'm tired of being like flooded with the same stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's like a new isekai. I mean, there's a lot of them every season, but there's like always a new one that you'll see it and you're like, this literally came out 2 seasons ago.
Yeah.
It's the same one.
Yeah, it's this. Yeah, again, sometimes there's a really good one, like the Shield Hero one, the Rise of the Shield Hero or whatever.
Yeah.
That one's really good.
That one was, at least from my friend group, was met with a good amount of like praise, and then they're like, I don't want to watch was it Isekai Quartet or whatever.
Yeah.
Again, I'm the old guy in my friend group. They're all like, let's watch My Hero Academia. We'll play the Arena Fighter game and all that. And I'm like, I'm just gonna watch Violence Jack as he cuts this person's head off. All right, the real taste here. But yeah, they're again, all of these shows are a lot of these modern ones. Like, I get tired of like hitting with the same stuff because it's like some genres just aren't really inventive anymore, and then like the shows that do break the mold a bit, those are the ones that attract me to them because like again with My Hero, it didn't break the mold or anything, but I just found that I like the mangaka's previous work, Barrage. I like that, so I was like, I'll give it a try, and I can watch My Hero, and it's an interesting show, but just like those shows that really put themselves out there and are taking the risk instead of following the generic, this is how to be successful anime, like track is what really garners my attention.
Shonen formula.
Yeah.
Shonen formula. I don't
always
mind
the
me a
same
shonen formula, but when a shonen formula has a good formula inside of it, that makes me I'm interested in that. Because I mean, I've been doing this for a while. Not as long as some other people, but I've been doing this for a while, and that if I read the same type of tropes 600 times, I'm bored. I'm tired. I know that this guy's gonna stab this thing. He's gonna go and then he's gonna punch it in the face. All right, I'm like, I need a break.
Oh geez. Actually, I did have a question because you brought up that you like key animation, right? You like the hand drawn stuff, cell shading. Like, would you say has it been kind of detrimental in a way to like the anime community that like they don't really watch shows that are all hand drawn anymore, right? Like when was the last cell shaded show? Was like what, maybe mid I know at least
Violet
for
Evergarden.
American Violet Evergarden is hand drawn?
I'm pretty sure that was a cell
all the
show.
KyoAni stuff?
Yeah, that one I was pretty sure was cell. But again, pretty much nothing besides that. I think that was one of the things, or at least like a large chunk of it was hand drawn, and then they digitized a good bit of it. But that's the thing, is I've also seen that stigma of people that don't want to watch anything that's not digital.
Right.
Because I'm like, yo, you like this new show? Well, try out this older show that was like what the mangaka drew their inspiration off. And they're like, ew, no, that's an old show. It's got film grain. And I'm like, what? It's got film grain and that's what bothers you? And I'm like, oh, these shows are great shows. Like Maison Koku. I recommend that show to like tons of people. I'm like, if you like, I don't know, people say domestic. I'll say domestic girlfriend. All right. You like something that's lovey, I don't know, some weird, you like something that's odd, but you want something that's calm now, go to Maison Koku. It's in the same category, but not as weird, okay? And I'll try and squeeze it in, like Himagari Orange Road, like all those classic series. And I recommend them, and they're like, no, I want to watch this because it's new and it's good. And I'm like, just because it's new or just because it's old doesn't mean it's bad, because probably the people that made that series, I could bet you at least a lot of people drew off of each other inspiration-wise for a lot of things. And that sometimes reading what they read can give you a better understanding of how what kind of works they enjoyed to make this. Because I hate to tell you guys, but manga, they don't come up with their ideas by themselves, you know? They definitely draw inspiration from other people. And like, I mean, half the mangaka out here, like nowadays, are like, I remember reading, well, probably the early 2000s shonens were like, I remember reading Dragon Ball Z as a kid, and like, I know there's a bunch of mangaka that quote One Piece for like their love of manga. So yeah, and that's the thing, is like I go to a convention. It's always weird too when I went to my convention, like being the oldest person there, and then I had my one friend there, and we go up to a booth and I'd ask them something about like, do you have merchandise for this anime? It's a bit older, and they're like, bro, we don't go anything past like 2017. So I'm like,
that
okay,
just makes no sense. Because I find, I mean, there's good shows that are coming out still, but I don't know. I just feel like not classic, but you know, the mid 2000s up to probably 2013, that was just a good handful of just really well done shows.
You'll get spurts every now and then now, but not like how it used to be, where it was like a whole like just
and every
era.
Studio was putting out good stuff. Gonzo,
you get like a whole
Madhouse,
season.
Bones.
You get like a whole seasons of good quality stuff.
Yeah.
And like nowadays, it's like, cool, this new season's come. It's the next season, spring season or whatever. And Boruto, it's like Boruto's running again.
My Hero,
all these other,
Black
My
Clover.
Hero's running again. Black Clover's running again. And I'm like, okay, those are decent, but I don't want to jump in because I'm already too far behind on that. So what's coming out otherwise? Let's see. The last one I remember watching was Domestic Girlfriend was coming out, and I was like, I don't think I can watch that. That's a little too much for me. But then my friends recommended it, so I read all of it. I mean, my friends are like, hey man, you should read it. And I'm like, I guess I got nothing better to do with my life. I'll just read 230 chapters and, you know. But and then also like, there's also like there was that large push for like from after Prison School success for like that super duper ecchi stuff. Prison School, High School DxD. Yeah. What was the last one? Why the Hell Are You Here, Sensei?
Why the hell are you here, teacher? Yep. And then they had
there's
even Sister New Devil
or Keijo, the butt anime.
Oh, the butt anime. That one was fun. I'm sorry. I had a good chuckle with that one because I didn't take it seriously, but like I was, because I mean I don't mind ecchi, but just like some of the stuff nowadays, man, they're really pulling that ecchi. It's like ecchi anime to get the ecchi horny boys, and then it's like the isekai anime to get the like the other people, and then there's shonen, and I'm just like anything else, because like I mean I don't mind the boobies bouncing everywhere, but like I'm looking for some plot here, okay, some actual development, not just like oops, my top's falling off, guys. Oh no, like.
And then you get smacked. Panties. Yeah, like you literally undressed in front of me and then smacked me for seeing you. Yeah, when it wasn't even my fault.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like the. So again, it's just sometimes it's hard for me nowadays, but like that period of whenever like the big three were really pushing for the new anime from the big three, all big three were coming out. That I felt like people were having to compete with that.
Yeah,
like that's what brought like that A game, because like if your show wasn't popular enough, you're gonna get overshadowed by Naruto or One Piece or Bleach, and they were fighting each other. Yeah. So like that time period, as you were saying, it was a lot of good quality anime that came out. I mean, we still have. I mean, Full Metal Alchemist is still what number one on Mal or whatever. Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I mean, after the the blocking of the interspecies reviewers. But yeah,
It got so close. I actually got kind of sad. I wanted it to kind of get there.
It got to number 3 or number 2.
Yeah, somewhere. It was
Yeah,
close, really close.
And then all these freaking My Hero, or not My Hero, but Full Metal Alchemist stands were like down. They're like 1 star, 1 star, 1 star, and I'm just like, me just sitting here out in the back watching all the shit unfold of just, oh man, let's see if they're gonna get the number 1 today. Oh, yeah. Now it's been removed by Mal.
Didn't that happen with another show recently as well?
Oh, it was the Pengu City. It like got up to like an 8.77. It was a CG, some CG anime about a penguin, like doing shit.
Yeah, you remember Pengu though?
Pengu, yeah. I think that's the one. What it was. Pengu.
Because Pengu, I think the creator had died.
Oh
shit! French thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure it was a French thing, and the creator had died, and they had like boosted it or something. I don't remember because it was super big in the Japanese market as well. I mean, it was big everywhere. He literally didn't say anything. He just made newt noises or whatever, and just and it was like, wow, this was quality television. Newt, little penguin running around. But there's like Japanese Game Boy games and GameCube games. I don't know, they made a whole bunch of games for that penguin.